Hi guys, welcome to the Race Girls Collective podcast. And today we are joined by Silverstone Revolution Racing, and we are joined by Amy and Tom. And in this podcast, we have Saskia and Anika and me, Constance. If Amy and Tom, you want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'll start. Hi, I'm Amy. I'm the media and marketing manager at Silverstone Revolution Racing. I'm a student at Silverstone UTC and I study a mixed course of both Englishes, business, and travel and tourism.
So I also study at Silverstone UTC, and I am the finance manager for Silverstone Revolution Racing. I study a level 3 in engineering technologies.
Perfect. Okay, so what is Silverstone Revolution Racing and what is it to you?
Silverstone Revolution Racing is an F1 in schools team. We're run out of Silverstone UTC. We're one of originally 5 teams that ran out of there, and we're part of the F1 in schools and STEM racing program. It's undergoing a rebrand at the moment, so we may reference it to both of them, but they are the same thing. It's an international competition, and you have to build, manufacture, and race a miniature gas-powered Formula One car, and it's about that big. And you also have to create a brand identity and market yourselves, and you compete where you deliver verbal presentations and things like that. So it's a massive project, but that's what Silverstone Revolution Racing is. It's our team name for F1 in schools.
That's
Amazing.
pretty
Oh,
amazing. Sorry.
sorry.
Saskia, you go.
Um, sorry. How does it feel to be working out such like an iconic circuit within motorsports and especially to like British motorsports in general?
Tom, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, cool. So I mean, I'm not big into motorsport. I don't have a big motorsport head on me. However, it is very cool. You see, it's also incredibly noisy. Especially when you're trying to do your exams. But it's good. It's good, positive noise. So yeah, it's I do feel very privileged.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Okay, so you mentioned you go to school at Silverstone. What is your favourite thing, and maybe if there are any downsides to kind of having education at such an iconic place?
I'd definitely say the best things are the school's connections. They have connections to all the F1 teams, a bunch of other famous like figures and brands within motorsport. We've had Aston and Martin come in, do assemblies. Obviously, we drive past their factory every day on the way to school. They come in and do assemblies for us. Some people at our school are at work experience there right now. They have great connections, obviously, being at the circuit. And we get to watch a bunch of amazing races, but we also get to help out and volunteer. So we got the option to help out at the GT 500 event, and some of us were invited back for the Sunday. And that's obviously you get to watch the racing for free, and you also get to gain amazing experience. But I'd say, yeah, definitely the school's connections within the industry. It's really great to start anyone's career who wants to work in motorsport. And yeah, the only downside may be the noise. I can't lie, especially as you said in exams.
Yeah.
What made you like want to join within like the F1 in schools thing?
Shall I have a go at that?
Yeah, go on.
So for me, because I'm relatively new, I joined a few months ago. So I saw how many doors that F1 in schools could open. And I thought, I want a bit of that. So I applied, and thankfully Amy liked me. So she had me on. But I think definitely opening the doors and definitely meeting new people. That's a big theme in both the school and just F1 in schools in general, really.
That sounds so cool.
Would you both be able to explain a little more about your role and what you do?
Yeah, sure. I'm, as I said, the media and marketing manager. There's only 6 of us in the team to start with. So uh, within media and marketing, I'm not actually managing anybody. I'm just managing myself and those responsibilities within the team. So I help make sure the brand identity is consistent. I run our social media accounts. I also deal with quite a lot of communication. We have a website up, so I do all the PR for that. Anything that really involves writing That's what sort of where I come in. I'm also the only non-engineer on the team, so I like to make sure I'm checking things like that. Not that I doubt anybody, but yeah, I like talking to people in meetings and stuff. Obviously, most of us are present there, and yeah, I sort of handle the media, PR, marketing side. I help create or help with ideas for the merchandise as well. I've got our team kit on at the moment. Unfortunately, Tom doesn't have his, but yeah, things like that, making sure the brand remains consistent. I work with our graphic designer who's amazing. I can't take credit for the designs myself, but yeah, I love my role.
Yeah. So I think, Tom, you mentioned that you're relatively new to this, but after kind of experiencing what it's like to work in motorsport, would you say that that's something that you'd want to do in the future?
I think it's definitely a possibility. You know, yes, I do think so. I think it's a nice tight knit community, and everyone knows everyone, and I think that's definitely something that I fancy getting my teeth stuck into. But we'll see. Really, I don't know.
Yeah, and Amy, what about you?
Yeah, that's the reason I came to the school. I sort of there hoping that I'd get on an F1 in school's team as well. The program really interested me, and yeah, that sort of passion hasn't died down. I'd still love to be able to work in the motorsport industry. It's a very competitive environment, so we just got to hope.
What advice would you give to somebody who's looking at joining F1 in schools?
Organisation. Be very, very organised.
Yes.
Have folders everywhere. I would say, especially in my role, where you've got emails flying in left, right, and centre. You've got to be on top of it, really. And you've got to have a good sense of humour, really. You can't take it too seriously, but you can't take it. You've got to take it seriously enough to enjoy it.
Yeah, something that we use is a Google Drive that we all have access to. And when they're there, there's literally a folder or like a document that says how to use the Google Drive to make sure everyone does it correctly. And it's making sure that people have the right links or access to the documents they need to be able to complete their work. It's all organized within, there was a bit for our regionals, nationals, then there's sponsorship, social media, stuff like that. So that's one of the organization things we do, because it does just get so much, not just with emails, just with documents, graphics, everything like that. So yeah. And sense of humor, I definitely agree with that. It can become very life consuming, not even just time consuming. So making sure you can step away from it a little bit is important.
Amy, earlier you talked about being into motorsports. How long would you say you've been into it, and what got you interested?
I come from one of those families where F1 was always on at the weekend. So F1 definitely was my entry into motorsport. You know, some families have the football on, some people have the F1 on. And that was sort of my bringing into it. My parents really love it. And since going to the school and meeting all the other people, I definitely say that's expanded into motorsport in general, rather than just F1. I got to go to the MotoGP, and now I really like watching those races, going into Moto2 and everything like that as well. And as I said, the GT500, rally cars, everything like that is definitely broadened my interest. But yeah, it definitely stemmed from an F1 background, and I still love races.
Who's your favourite driver, and which team's your favourite for Formula One?
This is tricky, and I knew you were going to ask me this, and I panicked because I know it's strange, but I don't have a particular bias. I like the drivers separately a lot from their teams as well. Like, it'll be very different who I want to be friends with, you know, and whose personality I like, rather than whose driving style I like and stuff like that. I'd say as a family, the teams will be McLaren and Mercedes, you know, got to represent, you know, England, stuff like that. But overall, I'm not really that biased. It's not one person I'm rooting for in the races. I like it as a whole. And I'm sorry about that, because I knew you were going to ask me that, and I wasn't going to be able to give you a specific answer.
That's a good way to be, though. You just kind of enjoy the sport as a whole.
Exactly. It means I'm never that disappointed, no matter who wins.
Yeah.
What about you, Tom? Do you watch Formula One?
Come on, you can be honest. It's okay.
Yes and no. Yes and no. We don't have it on in our household, unfortunately, but my girlfriend's dad is very, very into it. So yeah, I like to sit down and watch it with him. But yeah, yes and no.
So is it a moment?
Follow
Sorry.
the references. That's about how much.
Is it a moment of whatever team his supports is going to be the one where you're like, oh yeah, you know?
Absolutely, you can't go against him, can you? Really, like.
What would be one thing people don't realize about Formula One in school?
How time consuming it is.
Have I already asked this question?
I don't think you have, no.
No.
Okay, sorry. Sometimes I lose track of things in my mind.
He is
Sorry.
getting to her.
Yeah, I think how time consuming it is and how close you become with your team members. In the national competition, well, Tom's new. We obviously knew him from school, but I'd definitely say we've got closer with him even in the past couple of months of him being there. I've been there from the beginning. I've been through a couple of people changes and people integrate really quickly, and I now am friends. We're obviously all friends, but even at the nationals, it was in Sheffield. We had to live with each other for 2 days, had to cook each other dinner, stuff like that, going shopping, stuff like that. It's not only team bonding, but we are all friends out of it. So yeah, I definitely see how close we are with our team members, and also just how time consuming it is. It's not, we meet at lunch times, but it goes way beyond that. We're doing it into our own time and calling each other after school, stuff like that.
Yeah. Sheffield mentioned, sorry.
So what
So-
are the
Sorry.
age ranges? Sorry, what are the age ranges to join?
Sorry, Tom, but I think I know this one a little bit.
Yeah, I absolutely have no idea.
Yeah, there's 3 different divisions within F1 in schools. So you start with entry level division where you make the cars out of paper, and so those are usually for primary school kids. But upper end of primary can compete in the next one up, which is development. Sorry, I'm not giving you specific ages, but this is sort of the regions. Stuff is development class, and that's where you do have to CNC cut your car and add 3D printed elements. So everything ups quite quickly between those two. And development class is what we raced in last year. That's what most teams around our age will start with, usually a bit younger. And so, yeah, that if you're going to race, that's definitely what you would usually start with if you haven't come up through entry. And then there's professional class or pro class, and that's what we're racing in this year. And that's usually when you've done a year or 2 of development. And if you place top 3 in your nationals in pro division, that's when you then get your invite to go to worlds. So pro class is the one that sort of counts. We've unfortunately only got 1 year of it, but some people do it for years and years until they get their invite to worlds. So yeah, that's sort of what the age range is, and that's usually for people who've been doing it for a few years, like people our age.
So you mentioned that it can kind of be time consuming, life consuming even, but how do you find like a balance between your personal life and your work and like with the F1 in schools?
Like I said, you just can't take it too seriously. You have to have a joke with it. I mean, Amy can back me up with this. I laugh a lot about anything. So you've really just got to take it with a pinch of salt. So well, I mean, that's what I think anyway. But
yeah, Tom's the person that when he's on phone calls, he mutes to make a joke and to laugh so that he can then continue when it's on call with like a business and stuff. So like he's got a camera on now, so he can't hide it. But yeah,
no, I can't hide it now.
Tom on the phone's a bit concerning.
Concerning is the wrong word.
Oh, the joke's funny though.
Depends on the day.
Then yeah.
If you're the rest of us, it depends on the day and what mood the rest of us are in. But no,
they're always funny.
He's definitely the most light-hearted on the team. That's good. Sorry, we didn't really answer your question there.
Not really.
No, kind of. It's okay.
We meet. So we have our usual lessons. Sometimes we work in our frees at school, but we meet lunchtimes, usually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If it's not necessary, we won't meet. But that's what we usually do. And in the build-up, which some people will say it sounds like a lot, but we have Thursday and Friday off, so that's something. And then at the moment, we're not really working. We work a little bit outside of those hours, but we're not so heavily involved in it. But the closer it gets to competition, the more intense it does get. The changeover from regionals to nationals was around a month for us, and everything had to change. So then I worked really hard to get all my coursework for the school done, and then would not go to my lessons, would go meet with the team and then stay with them over lunchtime, and then we'd call each other after school as well. Like, so then there really is no balance. But at the moment, maintaining that is a little bit easier because there's just slightly less pressure because we're not in competition at the moment.
Have you guys ever been to an F1 race or been invited with the...
We actually have been invited this year by the circuit for the first time. Yeah. So we got our sponsorship from Silverstone Circuit, which was definitely the highlight of our F1 in schools so far, I would say at least. And they've chose our title sponsorship, which gave us the name Silverstone Revolution Racing. Before we were just Revolution Racing. So that came with our sponsorship package, and we represented them all throughout nationals. And I was sort of cheeky, and throughout the live streamed event, I clipped all the videos that said and mentioned us getting invited to the races, or how cool it was that we went to school on the track, and did we get to go for free, and all this and the other, and sent it to them and was like, look at how funny this would be if it did happen. And that's our team principal sort of made me send that. I was a bit reluctant after all they'd done for us, but she made me send it, and they came back and was like, yeah, we'd love to invite you and our family, like you and your families. So we all got 3 tickets each for the Saturday, not the Sunday, but who's complaining, really?
It's qualifying, you still get to go.
Exactly. And I went on media day the Thursday last year but I've never actually been to a race day, but yeah, it's a really exciting time. I know other people in the team have. Definitely our team principal, she's really into it.
She loves it. She really does love it.
We'll have a lot of fun talking to her. Yeah, being invited was amazing. I love telling the team that. I had to keep it secret throughout the day because I wanted to tell everybody together.
That's incredible.
It's such a hard secret to keep.
Yeah, I'm not very good at secrets either, and I'm a bad liar. I know our team principal knew I was lying 100%, but she kept her mouth shut too, so that was all okay.
What are you most looking forward to about the race?
A British win. Why not?
Yes.
Happened last year, it can happen again. I don't even care who it is. As I say, I'm not that biased. Let's be patriotic for once. Come on, it's our race. We get to go see it. And seeing the team outside of school, but still in an F1 environment, would be a little odd, but I think it would be nice. We're hoping to all be able to meet up. So,
But do you know where you'll be? Have you decided on a place?
No clue yet. I think we're just gonna have to wing it. Tom, do you know?
I don't know. I don't even know what's going to be there. Like,
if you see,
there's a track and a school, and then there's me, and I have no idea apart from that. So, I really don't know.
Are you guys going?
I'm unfortunately not.
No,
I'm
we're hoping for
going,
next year. Oh.
thankfully.
You
Sorry.
If you see any of us walking around lost, you might need to just give us a hand or point us in the direction.
Yeah,
I will
follow us.
help you out. I'll
Thank
try.
I appreciate that.
We're hoping to all meet up at some point because obviously 3 of us are based in the UK. Ella's based in Germany and Louise is based in Sweden.
Oh, really?
No, 4
So
of
we're
us are based in
hoping
the
to all
UK.
meet up next year.
And we thought we were far away, and we're only a couple of hours away. Yeah, we haven't met up outside of school yet. Well, we're lucky compared to you lot.
Yeah,
That's amazing. How did you all meet?
TikTok. I was messaging Annie, she runs the podcast as well, and I was like, I have a great idea, why don't we start a podcast? And we were discussing for a while of who to ask to join us, and she was like, Anika and Saskia, because obviously I didn't know them then, and I was like, okay, I'll ask Ella and Louise.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah, thanks for bringing this all together.
But hopefully the others will be able to join us next week.
Yeah.
Amazing.
When is it nationals?
So we'll start again. So it goes regionals.
Oh, right, okay.
Then we're obviously hoping to go to Worlds. But so yeah, it'll be regionals again next.
Okay. I'm trying to work out in my head all It's like it feels like I'm
Very
back in like a school netball team and you've got to like do so many like different
This is how we
tournaments.
to people who don't really know that much about it. We're just like bombarding them with information.
What exactly is Worlds?
Worlds is okay. So in regional, so we competed in the West Midlands regional. So they're much smaller competitions. There were like 30 teams at our regionals, and it's usually the top 3 from regionals get a place to nationals, but it was top 2 due to overbooking the time we went. So we were very fortunate that we placed second there. That was a very stressful day. So we went to nationals, and that's a 2-day event. And because we were in development, if we got top 3 at nationals, which we sadly didn't, weren't far off, but sadly didn't, we would have been invited to Worlds, but not as competitors, just to watch. And Worlds this year is in Singapore. It gets held to a vote. But in professional class, yeah, it was in Saudi Arabia last year, I think, as well. It goes all over.
Oh wow.
We're just praying that if we get to Worlds, it's not in England, because otherwise it'll be at the circuit, and we want to travel for it,
Yeah.
Then in professional, if you get top 3 at nationals, then you get to go compete in Worlds, and there'll be obviously the top 3 from every country. I think 68 countries compete. So yeah, then they throw massive parties as well. It's not just the competition. Though obviously the competition is longer, but they throw massive parties. Last year, Fernando Alonso was there helping host. You get to watch the Grand Prix if it's there at the time. You get factory tours, stuff like that. It's incredible.
Oh wow. That is actually amazing.
Worlds is a massive event.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to go so bad.
What does the competition structure look like? Like does that make sense? The structure of like what would you be doing throughout the day?
Sorry, Tom, I feel like I'm answering all the questions.
No, that's fine. I like listening.
Okay, that's great. So at regionals, at nationals, it's a 2-day competition as well, but it's basically the same structure. You do everything on the first day. The second day, the only thing that changes is you race once again, which I'll get to, and then you could just get feedback. So the second day of nationals doesn't really mean that much, but the first day is similar to regionals. So you get a schedule in the beginning of the day, and you have to go up and set up your pit display first thing, which is you usually get a table. In professional, you're expected to sort of provide your own, set up lighting, we had a sound system, and you set up a display. You can do whatever you want. Usually you put merchandise on the table as well and make it look all pretty, and that's to represent your brand identity. And so then after that, there's usually an introduction ceremony, and then you start your judging. So that can be in any order, but you get brand identity judging, as I said, where they come to your pit display and ask you questions, and you're expected to sort of present what you've done. You also have a verbal presentation, which is 5 minutes long at regionals and 10 minutes. 5 minutes long at regionals and 10 minutes long at nationals. That's where everyone has to participate. You have your PowerPoint slide. You need to be interactive. And then you have your actual racing, where that's the really nerve-wracking part. And the lights go out like an actual F1 race, and someone is there and presses the trigger, which is just a button, and your car shoots down. And you do that 3 or 4 times, and they take your average run, and they put that on a board, so then you can see the sort of leaderboard there, and these all elements will go towards your points. And then you also have portfolio judging, where you put together a 5 or 10 page engineering and enterprise portfolio, which also shows what you've done. I think that's everything. Sorry,
that sounds like so much work. No, I admire. Wow, that's incredible. So you guys mentioned, well, you didn't mention you are sponsored by Silverstone Circuit. Obviously, that's such a prominent organization in motorsport. How does it kind of feel to have that to support for your team?
Tom, do you want to take it?
Yeah, go on then. It's there's a lot of responsibility that goes along with that. Representing the Grand Prix circuit is a really big responsibility. I know I wasn't present when that happened, but I know that Amy and the rest of the team had to read through tons and tons of pages of what they can do with the name and the logos and everything. So it's a really big responsibility. But apart from that, I think you do feel very, very privileged. You can say it with pride. So Yeah.
I think there was a pinch me moment when at Nationals they put up a sort of a best bits of the British Grand Prix, sort of like to introduce everybody in the competition. They mentioned Silverstone so much as we were sitting there, like being the only competitors with literally Silverstone on the back of our team kit. It was sort of like, wow, how did this all happen? But yeah, it's
so cool.
incredible. We get to say that we're the only team sponsored by an F1 track, so we can throw that flex in. We throw that to our verbal presentations and judging all the time. We love using that.
I mean, I don't blame you. Yeah, that's.
I'll be saying it to anyone that listened.
Yeah, I wouldn't shut up about that, to be honest. So yeah.
Tell you now as well. So
Is that everything? We got everything done? It's silence.
No, yeah, I think.
Okay. Well, it was lovely having you both.
thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming.